This is module number 4, and we're just going to do, excuse me, 2 things. My thoughts and your questions. So my thoughts. And this is pretty much based on, I think this is all based on the assignment and the videos that I saw and didn't see from the last module. So some video feedback. Some of these are just technical things. I think I probably said this to just about all of you that posted in the group. Whenever you can, whenever you have anywhere that you want somebody to go, it's fine to say, go to my website, www.mywebsite.com, or go to my Facebook group, or go to this page on Pinterest or Instagram or what have you. All of that is fine. And almost nobody is going to type anything in nowadays. It just doesn't, it's not the way the world works. It's not the way people scroll or consume information. That doesn't mean that some people won't if they're highly, highly interested in what it is that you have. If you've really struck a nerve with them and they're going to go to, www.loseweightbyeatingcake.com, then that can work. But even if you strike a chord like that, you should still make it easy for them to go. Hang on one second. Let me mute everyone. To go to your site, wherever you are referring them. So put a link in the description. In YouTube, down at the bottom below the videos, you can put a link. As long as it's a full link, like with the www in front of it, then it'll be a clickable link. So what you'll see and you'll hear and notice in videos is people will say, oh, I put the link in the description, and they'll like point down, or they'll just mention it. The videos that I've been doing, I'll do both. You can go to this website and I'll usually put a little image, or not image, well, it is an image, but a graphic at the bottom of the screen that shows the URL that I just mentioned, coachshaunsmith.com/try coaching, or I'll link in the description. So the more options that you give them, the better. So if you tell them where to go and you show them where to go and you give them a link to click, then you've pretty much covered all the bases. Later on in your YouTube journey, once your channel hits a certain point, you can actually get to the point where you can allow people to click right in the video, whether it is on their phone or on their computer. They can click on the video itself and go somewhere. But at the beginning of your YouTube journey, at least as of right now that I'm aware of, you can't do that until you get a certain amount of subscribers or views or something like that. And I don't remember what it is right now, but that's in the future. For now, just cover as many bases as you possibly can. One of the things that you want to do with these YouTube videos is ask for feedback or engagement. YouTube has all kinds of algorithms. That's probably a word you've heard now. If you've been in this marketing world for any significant amount of time, algorithms are basically the rules that platforms like Google or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram have behind the scenes. So these are all the technical rules that determine whether your video is shown to other people, how often. So you kind of, when you're playing on other people's platforms, you have to play by their rules. And so to know what their rules are, you understand what the algorithms are, and that will determine how you put your content up. So for instance, one of the ways to get more exposure for your videos on YouTube is for your video to have more engagement. That means more likes, more comments, more shares. Those are generally the main forms of engagement. And that's really across all social media platforms that have those options. So on Facebook, you've probably heard this, but Facebook decides who sees your posts or not. And so when you scroll in your Facebook feed, you're not seeing all the posts from all the different friends that you have. You're only seeing the posts that Facebook thinks you're going to engage with. Now, that usually means posts from people you've engaged with in the past, or new friends of yours. So you might notice once you have a new friend, you'll start seeing their stuff. If you don't engage with their stuff, you'll stop seeing their stuff. And you might notice that you have in your feed one person that you might see like 4 or 5 of their recent posts, and you literally have 2,000 people you don't see their posts at all, because Facebook knows you tend to engage with this person's post. So they're going to show you that more. Why would they do that? Because they want you on their site. The more that you're on Facebook's site, the more money they can make. So from a business standpoint, the reason that they would give your stuff more visibility is that it's more valuable for them, which means there's more engagement with the audience. So that's kind of a behind the scenes, high level understanding of what we're after here. And so what we want to do is invite feedback and engagement as much as possible. So you might see a lot of people, if you're watching videos from people that are trying to build a list, you'll see in every single one of my videos that I've done over the last several months, somewhere in the video, usually in the beginning, there's a call to action. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel so you get notifications, click the little bell, let me know what you think. We're constantly just inviting people to engage. Now, that engagement, though, is a lot more challenging than it used to be. It used to be when all this stuff was novel, you could just say, hey, let me know that you're here. And people would type in, they would type in little 1s or 2s or hi. And that's just not the way the world engages anymore. They don't just engage just because there's a video or there's a YouTube live or something like that, or Facebook live. So the engagement is not automatic or as easy as it was before. Therefore, we have to, number one, ask for it, but we have to give them reasons to do it now, more so than we always did in the past. So just get into the habit of asking for feedback. And one of the ways to do that is to be specific. Don't just say, hey, let me know what you think. Because the brain, unless there's an immediate thought that they have, because your content is so triggering for them, and they want to comment because they know you, they like you, they have a rapport, unless that happens, there's usually got to be more of a reason for them to engage. And of course, when you're putting videos up, you want to engage the people that don't just know you and like you and will comment on anything that you want them to. You want new folks, right? And let me also say that I'm giving you, with this feedback, I'm giving you some advanced stuff that I want you to just get used to now. This doesn't necessarily mean that every single video you do, you've got to make sure that, you add a minute or 2 minutes of engagement and all this stuff, because in the beginning, your videos might not necessarily be designed yet to get the exposure or to get the visibility. So how much you implement everything that I'm giving you right now is up to you, based on where you're at in the journey and what you want to do with certain videos. But I'd rather give you some of the advanced feedback, and then you can implement it and apply it to whatever degree you want. And some of you are going to go a little bit faster than others. So that's where this is coming from. This is not saying every single one of your videos needs to have this. I'm just kind of grabbing a lot of, if not all of the feedback that I was giving people in their module 3 videos and giving it to everybody at once, because you probably didn't see all the comments that I made in every single video. So ways that you can ask for engagement. Let's say you're giving, 5 tips. I think Kay gave 6 tips for landing a dream job. And I know Kate mentioned 3 different ways, and I don't remember exactly the way it was positioned now, but something about just using your time and being productive. And I know Queen gave 3 things about relationships and relationships. So whenever you give chunks like that, you give sequences or non-sequential chunks, one of the easiest things you can do is just ask, which one of these do you like the most, or which one of these do you disagree with? Because then it's easier for the brain to go, okay, she just gave me 3 things. Which one do I like the most? Which one do I agree with the most? Which one do I need more help with? Which one of these 6 biggest mistakes do you think is the biggest issue for you in your life or business. It's easier for the brain to go, I've been given a chunk of information, which one of them stands out more? And then it's easier for them to comment with that, right? Another thing you can ask is if they have anything else to add. People love to contribute. So you can say, now these are my 3 tips, but if you have another one that I've forgotten, or you have one that's worked better for you, then please let us know. People love the ability to contribute. So the more specific you can be with the content that you give, the more likely it is that they will engage. Another thing is, again, none of this is judgment necessarily of what you guys should have done. And honestly, I intentionally didn't tell you some of this stuff because I want you to just get in motion. Now, these lessons, for those of you that did the videos, these lessons are going to mean more after you've done the videos than if I gave them to you all in front, right? Because this is sometimes a lot of intellectual information that actually increases resistance. And now, having just said that, for those of you that haven't done the videos, whether you're listening to this live or on replay, my invitation is that you stop watching this, spend the time that you've carved out for the rest of this module and go do your video, because everything that comes in this segment around feedback for doing videos is going to be more valuable if you've done the video. And the more that you intellect, which this will add to, the less you'll implement, right? So that's my invitation. With the titles of your videos, again, going forward, you want to be somewhat strategic. You want to give people benefits. You know, some of you were titling the video like Module 3 homework, which is 100% okay. I didn't give you any more of an assignment than that. That's 100% okay. And going forward, you have to understand that that's not going to mean anything to people on YouTube, right? And I know this wasn't necessarily to attract people on YouTube. So take that feedback for the future, not necessarily what you should have done in this last video. And some of you might decide that the video you put up is something that you do want on your YouTube channel. So then just make sure that the title is somewhat strategic. And strategic from a messaging standpoint is, what are the benefits that people are looking for, or what are the things they're interested in, right? And you're going to get all of that from seeker interviews, or a lot of that from seeker interviews. One way to increase awesome. Aaron says, bye everyone. I'm going to do my video. Great. Adios. One way to increase engagement is to be engaged. So if you watch a video and you see there's 50 comments, a lot of people will scroll comments, and they're just, for number one, just entertained by comments sometimes. But number two, they scroll through the comments just to kind of get a sense of what the value of the video is. So they might see a comment that says, oh man, at that 5-minute mark, what you just said blew my mind. And then the watcher will go, oh, I probably should watch until the 5-minute mark, or maybe they'll skip ahead to the 5-minute mark. So some people will actually look at the comments to decide whether the video is valuable enough for them to keep watching. And some people are going to look at the comments to see if the brand is actually engaging with people. So if I see 50 comments underneath a video and the person that put the video up hasn't responded to any of the comments, how likely am I to leave a comment? And if I do leave a comment, it probably won't be an engaging type of comment. It'll just be a comment that I know is like it's going to be an unresponded to comment, right? Whatever that is. So I might be even more likely to say something a little bit off-putting or a little bit more negative or what have you, because I don't think the person's going to respond anyway. So sometimes people will look at the comments and assess how engaged the brand is. And if they see that this person who put the video up is responding to everybody's comments, then especially if somebody actually has a question to ask, then they're much more likely to do it. And because a lot of people don't respond to comments, this is one of your ways to stand out, right? And sharks are much less likely to respond to comments than dolphins are, because that's just not their higher priority. So it's one of the ways that people will recognize that you really give a damn, is by the fact that you engage and you answer their comments. And I've had a lot of people that have come into our community just through conversations that were started on YouTube videos. Let's see what Ariel says, I scroll comments when I watch videos just for extra entertainment. It's also cool. Yep, interact. Totally. So the more savvy somebody is on social media, the more they're going to do what Michelle and Ariel are talking about in the chat. The more they're going to scroll, check all the other sort of assessments, whether it's comments or how many views, how many shares, how many responses, and so forth. So again, just get used to doing this. And one of the ways to make sure that you are, or the only way, I guess, well, unless you're going to go back to each one of your videos and scroll through the comments yourself, is to turn on notifications. There's a spot in YouTube where you put in your email address. I mean, once you sign up for YouTube, the email address is already going to be in there. That's how you get the channel. But you want to make sure that your notifications are turned on. When you start a channel, it should by default be turned on, but just make sure that they're turned on, so you'll get a notification. I get a notification up in the upper right-hand corner of my screen every time somebody comments or engages or likes or shares my YouTube videos. Or when you go to YouTube, there's a little bell icon up by your profile avatar, and it'll have a little notification number. So you want to stay engaged as much as you can. And then one invitation that I have for everybody, especially in this group, is watch each other's videos, comment on them, subscribe to their channels, just help them expand however they can, whether it's expand their reach or expand their content. Let's just help each other, right? And commenting on Facebook is fine inside of our group, but commenting on YouTube is better for their YouTube channel, right? So if you comment inside our foundations group, that's great if you want to give feedback or if you want to just say, hey, I love this or what have you. But most of those comments are going to be more valuable to the person on YouTube. You can do both if you want, but in order to support each other with respect to everything that I've been saying, we want to increase the engagement on YouTube as much as we possibly can.